Okay, so first thing, let's check it out. Welcome to the Graduate Show, everybody. We do this every week. And, oh, you know what? This is going to be a pretty light show, which is good for me because we have the Dojo Grads, not Dojo Grads, we're going to have Dojo Talks at 2, and I still want to do a little bit of reading. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grads today. So it'll be a mellow show. And then tomorrow we'll do the 1,000 plus grads. And with me is Jameel, famous Jameel from many YouTube videos that we've done on the poor guy. He's going to help me commentate today. And first up, we have Maya's Dado. And we got a little bit of a novel here, so let me just take a sip of coffee or tea, and then we're going to get into this novel. Maya's Dado writes, I need to be better about marking my hours and using the dojo to its full capacity, but I'm getting better following the essence of the program. I could absolutely play more games to try and rush my rise, but I really enjoy the process of studying and spending multiple hours on weekdays working on chess. My primary areas of focus are chess steps, Chessable, and various books within the dojo's recommendations. All right, let's stop there. Maya's Dado. What I can already hear out of that is at the level you are at, have already on your own done a deep dive into various suggestions. Maybe you've heard about it from different places and now you're all over the place. So you got 3 different things, maybe more. Now, are these things bad in themselves? No, they're not. But what's happening is you're not actually following a program. You're just doing a little bit of each, whatever kind of comes to your mind, maybe what feels good. And you're wasting a lot of energy trying to decide what to do. So, my first piece of advice is trust the dojo. Or if you want to, trust chess steps. Okay, Chessable isn't really a thing in itself, but all of these things, right, they're, especially, let's just say chess steps and the dojo, are organized in a way to put you on a path to progress where you're not having to think about it all the time. And whether it's chess or something else that you're trying to improve at, like it is a bad thing to have too many cooks boiling your soup. Okay.
Jesse,
Yeah.
could you just elucidate what is chess steps?
Chess Steps is a series of books that's very popular in the Benelux. I think it's a Dutch creation. And it's just a series of books taking you from the very basic all the way up. We have at the dojo a club called Chess Steps. We're going to check if Maya's Dado is in that club. So it's just a series of books, if you like.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm a bit ahead of my cohort on books, but working from home certainly has its advantages. All in all, I am happy with the progress I am making and love chess more and more every day. OTB tournaments have been a major life addition even after only 2 of them. I am 7 out of 10 in tournament play so far and pleased with that. I feel like online players are much stronger than their ratings sometimes, whereas I have been able to beat players rated much
I wonder
higher.
why that is.
Higher in OTB play. Regardless of how hard I try, there's something about OTB tournament chess in its ability to take me off the planet, right? I was just thinking, this is just a comment I've been dwelling on recently, is that in our modern lives, chess OTB is one of the few times where you can be off the phone for 4 to 6 hours. You know, where you're at, probably those games don't last that long, but nevertheless, right, you're playing 1 or 2 hours and then boom, it's just gone. It's just gone. I'm trying to get Jameel to play some OTB. He's finally going to play a couple games.
I got a game on Monday.
Okay. I'm still at home with dogs and a work computer next to me when I play online, and there isn't really another option. I can think about dinner, my daughter's swim class, or whatever else, whereas when I am in front of an opponent, I am not in the world anymore. The focus is at another level, and I love that. Anyway, enough rambling. Love the Discord, and perhaps most of all, the ability to analyze games and make notes of my thoughts in annotation. That alone is worth it for me. Great. Okay. So let's check out Maestado. And we're going to follow Maestado. Now, Maestado, one thing we can say is he's not logging his business over here. Yeah, let's just see. He has logged a couple dojo points, though. Not logging his hours. Logging the hours, I can really recommend it. As we go through this grad show, I'm sure we're going to see many people that are doing it religiously. And had a fail on the checkmate test. When you get a number like that, that's just like you did one problem and you were like, this is dumb. I'm stopping this. I'll go do chess steps. Right? I'm going to go do chess steps. Okay. So let's see if he's got the chess steps clubs.
So wait,
No, not yet.
was that an estimated rating of 33, you were telling me?
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought that meant they got 33 right. That's a rush.
Thank you, MD Knight. Yeah, it was fun. We're going to do another one today. So next up, I want to show you guys actually something that I didn't know that Jack turned me on to. Check this out. Calendar. So here I can see a calendar view of what somebody has done. This is a new feature of the dojo. Totally cool. I'm going to do a video. I want one thing actually from our dev team before I do the video. I want it to show when people played a game. It could be a sword icon. It could be a board icon. But it's very important to me that I get that little icon going on in there before I do the vid. All right, let's do a game. So it would be nice to do a OTB game of his. But so far I'm just seeing, it looks like games that are online. So here we go. We're going to mark this as reviewed. First question, we don't have a time graph, so now I'm going to go into game review mode. Okay, let's get into it. Maestado is white. So far, so good. E3 is, of course, a little weird because you're blocking your bishop, but it's not a horrendous crime. And then it says, book ends here. Engine liked the immediate C4 stab, but I wasn't ready to potentially open things up and play B3, both to prevent C5, C4, and also fianchetto the dark square bishop. Okay, so here I feel like you're making life kind of complicated for yourself, right? So just notice, this is not the end of the world what you've done, but you've made 2 pawn moves now to get this bishop out. Right? You only really need 1. But again, not a horrendous crime. Little weird. Bishop e2, bishop e2, bishop ed3 are more consistent. Now that's a bad move. Engine says not to be concerned and simply fianchetto my dark square bishop. Well, the problem, okay, with a3 is you're just inviting this dude inside, and he doesn't do it. But he should have. I mean, that's pretty cruel to put the bishop deep inside you like that. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. You're the one with the dirty mind. You're the one with the dirty mind. I didn't think of it that way. Okay, knight e5. And here the e5 outpost begins to show its might. Now, this is fundamentally okay, but what I'm worried about, okay, in general for your chess at this stage of your development, is that you are not focusing on development. There, I use development in 2 different ways. I'm sorry about that, but this is highfalutin chess, knight e5, okay? Knight d7, and now I don't like this either because you're not developing, right? Notice, your knight isn't really, you don't need to protect him another time over here. Okay, your opponent doesn't understand that he or she needs to take advantage of your lack of development. And a simple way of doing this would be to play knight e4 and then kick your knight. But okay, they lose, that's important to see, that's losing a tempo. Losing another tempo, because now your queen's going to come out. So you've got to say thank you very much there. C5, castles, good. So notice, now you have caught up in development. Rook c8. Okay. Creative idea. I did stop and think a good bit here. Oh, by the way, so this is for Maya's data, but also anyone submitting a game. If it's an online game, you can grab the PGN such that it's going to take all of the timestamps so that we can see how much time you use. It's very helpful for you when you analyze the game. And then also really nice for us to see what you're thinking about. Okay, you played C4, and I assume it's because you're terrified of C4. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure C4 is necessary because you can take this thing, and you've got 2 pieces on it. And whenever he takes on E5, your big fat pawn comes to E5. Okay, couple things to think about. Queen H3 is interesting here, and you'll maybe get a sense of why Queen H3 is interesting if I show you this move first, Knight D7. Because if Queen D7, pawn takes, and we're going to win this, we're going to shatter the king side and win a pawn. And if Knight takes, well, here I can think about, say, Queen H3. But that's why it might be more clever to play Queen H3 directly, right? Now, we would want to analyze this a little bit, but this looks dangerous for black. Okay, C4, Queen A5. Looks terrible, and now you can do the Knight D7 trick? I think you can. Boom, boom, and then you played Queen H3. But notice, I think you're hosing him with pawn takes pawn. Because they can't, you got to recapture with the queen, because otherwise you whack him with B4. And in general, you know, we want to open these bad boys up over here, right? Okay, so engine wanted DC. Now I want you to see the engine doesn't just do it because it wants to open up the bishop, but like it also has this trick that black set himself up for with Queen A5. Okay. And that looks like a blunder because now you have DC5. And bishop F6, good night. H6. Okay, now we make a big mistake with F4. I was thinking about the rook lift. Yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. So, yes, Queen G3 wins on the spot, okay? But more importantly, this is actually more importantly for where you are at. You've got to just be, once you win a piece, then there should be a certain level at which you're just like in consolidating crush mode, okay? So here the computer, it's right, of course, Queen G3, G6, and we take, and it's all over. But at this, right now, you just won a piece. So if you just move the bishop back anywhere except B2, don't go B2 because then he can fork you with Queen D2. But if you go anywhere besides bishop B2, you're just up a piece. And it's all over. You could also play B4, right? So one of the things I really want to stress on the under 1,000 grad show, okay, is the path to winning to victory is you win a piece, then you consolidate your position, you trade everything down like a boring miser, and then you win the end game up a piece. And then you just rinse and repeat. It's over and over again. That's your path. Sounds boring. Queen G3 is, of course, you know, technically the right move, but we never want to be this fancy after we won a piece. Okay, here we go. Maybe Queen D2 is kind of annoying now. He does it. Rook F3. Now it's getting a little frisky. G6, that isn't it. Boom. Yeah. Okay, with a nice mating pattern at the end. So I thought, in many ways, a good game. And what should we say? First of all, I feel like you've probably learned some kind of thing here in some book. This is sometimes called the Zuckertort or the Kali Zuckertort. And it's confusing you because you're doing a lot of weird stuff. If you just play principled moves, like the dojo way. So what is the dojo way? Don't study openings until you're 1100. This isn't only to improve your chess right away, but to help you learn what intuitive opening moves are. Yeah. Yeah, it was a negotiation. We had a negotiation. It used to be 1200. That's right, dude. It is a little unjust. Okay, so that was good. Let's do another one. Next up, we have Goldsman, who's graduated several times. Went back cohorts due to switching to OTB. Oh, see, that's why we have you here, bud. That's why we have you here. Went back cohorts due to switching to OTB. Simply required me to play classical games to get my rating up. Okay, good. By the way, very admirable to switch to OTB. We haven't had Jameel do that yet. He's been too afraid. But all right, let's look at this beautiful hours worked. And playing for about 2 years online, joined my local club, likes playing tennis. And something happened in October to our man. We don't know. And then he was doing some kind of non-dojo work during the summer. Another thing, actually, I really want to change is I want to change this non-dojo to, like, let's say it was endgame work. I want it to present as endgame. Or if it's opening, I want it to present as opening. Okay. Has done one checkmate test. It's looking okay over here. All right. So, ECF 1008. Great. Well, what do you mean? What? How come you didn't tell me?
Well, I told you change the scene, and then I just checked again, and I thought you did it right the first time. There you go.
Well, I clicked the wrong thing. By the way, everybody, let me tell you what I got, man. For you, I have trouble changing the scene because when I'm thinking about chess, I'm thinking about chess, and it's, multitasking. So I got myself a Stream Deck, and it's almost working. I had to buy a converter thing so that I could get another USB-C port on my stupid computer. But otherwise, I'm going to have this thing, boss, and I'm just going to be clicking these buttons when I'm doing this grad show.
Okay. Buddy. We'll take your word for it.
Come on. I did. There was a couple F-bombs in setting it up, I'll tell you. Whenever I got a new technology, there's going to be some F-bombs involved. Okay, so first of all, we got to say Goldsman is technically ready for another graduation, but he's doing it right with keeping it real first at 1008. Look at that. Rapid, he's already 1120. Okay, so let's go clubs. ECF, UK Dojo. Look at that, 99 members, UK Dojo. European, 213. Amazing. All right, here we go. Games. We got loads. And this is going to be an OTB, my favorite. And first things first, let's mark this. Do we have clock times? We do.
Seen.
Nobody, it's not seen yet. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I'm going to show the time graph first. See, this is why we got to have an evolution here. So this is the time graph. Now, this is an OTB game, and I think probably what happened is that he just maybe marked it every 5 moves, which is okay, right? Especially if you're just getting used to marking the time on an OTB. I mark it like after, the opening moves or whatever, I won't mark the time. But once people start thinking, then, let's say here it was around move 15 or something that they feel confident up till, and then I'll start marking the time. Okay, so good time graph. Again, one of the nice things about the dojo and the game review is we have that time graph and we have the ability to put in the times when you do your game review. Okay, so let's start this bad boy up here. This is Ben Hughes against Dave Archer. A little weird. Now, this is sometimes called the Owens defense, and in my estimation here, white should play bishop d3 or knight f3 first. And the reason for that is precisely what happens in the game, is that now the black bishop has a spot on b4 where it wouldn't have if the knight weren't on c3. Not the end of the world. Bishop d3 and now c5. And you castle. Fine. Fine move. Snip, snap. And Jameel, what kind of structure are we dealing with here, bud? Goldsman wrote down the time every move, just as expected. Nice. No. Okay, this is a Sicilian structure now with c5, cd4. And his opponent gives him now a tempo with bishop e7. And he says, this move surprised me as it undid what I had done previously and gave me lots of activity and central control. Okay, now I think his intention, I don't know how deep it was, but it does make a certain amount of sense to say, I'm never going to trade off this bishop for this knight, and I'm going to go back and create what's called the Scheveningen structure. He probably didn't use those words, but still, he's keeping the bishop. Okay? Now, whenever your opponent gives you time, and something I want to stress is they will give you time. All right? That's just what's going to happen at this level. The main mistake they are going to make is giving you tempo again and again and again. We talk about it a lot. And even after 1,000, when we do the show tomorrow, you'll see that people are giving away time. Not necessarily pieces that often after 1,000, but definitely tempo. Now, your move is totally logical, but a nice developing move would be queen g4 with a little threat. Yeah. Looks good to me, Okay. Your move, though, develops d6, queen e2. I still want you to play queen g4. Right? I want to give black a little grief. Queen e2, though, I'm happy that you're developing. Knight c6 is a frisky move because it does allow you to play bishop b5. The question, though, is, does bishop b5 threaten anything? I don't know. I don't know if it does. So we have to be careful, because if bishop b5 doesn't actually threaten anything. Now, by the way, of course it threatens something, but he gets to develop a piece too here. So we want to follow up. And if we don't have a follow-up, then we don't really want to play bishop b5. Jameel, besides queen g4, which I've already said like 1,000 times, what other move could white do to improve their position? Okay, d1, good move. Yeah. Also, I would say f4 should come to our mind to try to develop the rook. Okay, so bishop b5, rook c8, and now knight takes c6. Kind of interesting. A move that Jameel would play would probably be knight d5. That would be Jameel's move. I don't know how special that is, though. What, black will just continue developing. The dirty trick, because Jameel loves tricks like this. He'd be like, gotcha. All right, knight c6. Good move. I like that you're developing. Bishop f6. What did I promise you? I promised you that they would give you time. Okay? And you played rook d2. Good move. Simple chess. Good move. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, hold on, Goldsmith. This is great, dude. It's so simple, and the guy's just giving you time and time and time, and you're just taking it. He's moved that dark square bishop. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Castles, thank you very much for the pawn. And now you play bishop takes c6. Okay, here I began calculating, but couldn't see a winning idea. My thoughts were rook d8, but bishop can capture my bishop and attack queen. Jameel, Obviously, white's doing great no matter what. But what is sad about bishop takes c6? Black, I mean, he's definitely still doing good after bishop c6, but what's a little sad about it? I don't mind trading. It's just, we're fixing his knight. This knight's a dirty piece. So I don't know. I guess I'd like bishop a6. Bishop a6 gives black some interesting questions, and I think it's going to undevelop his rook. What? Oh, I know why. I know why. Hold on. We're going to grab this. Evolution to streamer, my friend. Evolution to streamer. All right, say something, Jameel, and confirm to us whether they can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I fixed it, boss. I'm a streamer now, buddy. I'm a streamer now. Thank you, Falgra, for pointing that out. Okay, so bishop takes c6. Knight takes. Queen d2. Trying to put pressure on the d file, but this move is a problem as my d6 rook is in trouble. I don't know if it's actually in trouble. So bishop e7, rook d3. Why wouldn't we go rook d7, though? Because Mama always said that we wanted the rook on the 7th. That was one of the things she stressed. Okay, rook d3, knight e5. Good move. So this is actually, you could call this a result of us moving, letting the knight out. Rook d4, excuse me. Rook d4, good move by black. Good move by black. And now he gets this, and now we got to say he's doing pretty good. He's at least got himself a little bit of something, something. Now you again go back, and I want to just stress here, the rook belongs on the 7th. Look how powerful it is. Also, it's kind of, I would say it's important for me anyway, to keep this queen out. Like we're jamming the queen in by putting the rook on d7. Yeah. A book that you'll read later in your chess development is Irving Cherneff's, it's like his 60 instructive games. And in that book, there'll be like a couple, at least one chapter on the rook on the 7th rank. Jameel and I sparred out, what was it, Botvinnik, Alekhine, 1937 or whatever it was. Do you remember that one, Jameel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Rook fd3. f5, a little frisky. ef. And you say, had to take because f4 would have attacked the e3 pawn. Now, that's kind of true, but notice it might have been a good time to just play king h1. Okay? I think you're going to have to take, I think you have to play king f1 anyway here. Because, yeah, f4 is the thing. So notice what happened here is you've activated the queen onto your pawn. f1, good move. But I just want to say, actually, your opponent has played some good moves. Yeah. Some very good moves over here. Knight d5. Snip. Snip, snop. And now you take it. Ha ha. Okay. So we're in a little bit of trouble here. In general, it's a really bad situation to take this thing. Now, you are in a bad business, though, so we understand. Personally, I would have tried b4 first. You know, b4, I would have tried to survive with b4. So knight e3, rook e8. And now you say, I got to do it.
You got to go king h1 now, no?
Well, I think you got to play b4, bud. Well, no, king h1 here loses to bishop takes e3.
Rook takes?
Rook takes.
Queen takes?
You guys, true. Okay,
There's
I
no
take
queen
it.
g1 at the end of it.
I take it back. Okay, let's say king h1. I don't like the look of it. Okay, and he finds queen f4, which definitely looks hairy, scary. That looks too much. And on this G3 thing, he gives queen f3, which I'm uncertain about because now we have knight g2. But we could just play bishop takes e3 here. That looks winning.
Yeah. So, okay, does it not hold because of queen f4 then?
I mean, it would be very surprising if it did hold, because we're just pinned and scrimmed. We gotta give away some material here. b4. All right, now we try this. All right, it's very hot. Now,
material is still equal.
what's that?
Material is still equal.
Yeah, black needs a good move right now. Okay, I'm not sure about what black did. Black plays this move, and he plays this move, which I like. I think I like that move anyway.
Wait, let me just calculate. Rook takes.
Yeah, I think rook takes is the right move, bud. Because he says queen takes c5, but we just play bishop c5.
Mm-hmm.
Here my opponent offered me a draw, and I quickly accepted it, as I was worried about getting on the 7th and felt lost. Well, fantastic. Fantastic that we got a draw here. Fantastic. Yeah, so queen f5 is, first of all, it's well-intentioned, but rook takes e3 looks like it just wins on the spot. In general, also, we should just say, this is maybe a little bit more advanced, but black has the advantage of a strong bishop in this.
Wait, hold up, Jesse. Hold up.
Yeah.
Queen f5.
Yeah.
Rook takes.
Yeah.
Rook d8.
You answer that question for me.
So queen f5. Rook takes f5. Rook d8.
Yeah, you answer.
And then you've got the double check with the rook back. Sorry, you've got the discovered check with rook back to e8.
Very good. Let's show that variation. Check to the miserable king.
Wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Now, it's interesting, back in the day, we would offer draws a lot, just out of nervousness, even GMs. That was how we got this GM draw kind of thing going on. And if we were talking to your opponent, Ben, we would say, oh, well, this person really needs to analyze some endgames to get a little confidence. Because like we're saying, even if rook takes e3 doesn't exist, we still got to believe in the black position. In fact, even if it's white's move in this position, we still want to believe in black.
Jesse, I'll be right back. I'm just going to use the bathroom.
No problem. Okay, well done. And let's go back. And now we have Moodla. Moodla, dude, he's graduating all the time. I have to change my scene. I know. You don't have to tell me twice. He says tactics and playing rapid games is what did it for him. Look at that heat map. Now, what is this he's basically doing tactics and non-dojo. That's what's going on. That's what we're seeing over here. USCF, he's doing some of these tactics. All right, let's go see what he's doing. Activity. We're going to click on non-dojo. He is doing rapid. Okay, so that's, in my head, maybe that's like 10-minute ChessCom games. Doing some of the step stuff. Okay, he's got a bunch of non-dojo stuff going on. All right. By the way, rapid, I understand. I think he's doing it also to get his rating up. Can you play that 10-0 pool on ChessCom in the under 1,000? All right, let's go back, and I want to click on what he's doing tactics. It looks pretty good. That looks great. Okay. Beautiful. And now we're going to take a look at clubs. Nothing. Mudla, buddy, you've been here a while. Introduce yourself. Say something. And then, put a club in or two. Thank you, Goldsman, for being here. That was great. That was a good annotation. Okay, we are now going to do, my friends, Mudla and the famous Jared Hall. And we're going to pick this 60-30 game because it's 60-30 and not 30 plus 30. All right, so not add to folder, buddy. We're just going to click it. I'm going to go here. Is there a time graph? Uh-oh. We have a time crime here, my friends. There's a time crime right there. Horrendous. Horrendous, my friends. Now, what we're looking at here, we're going to see, actually. We're going to test it. Now, with this time graph, are we witnessing some situation where somebody was winning on move 21? Or are we going to see, which is what I suspect, they got to an endgame position and then they weren't able to calculate once it got to the endgame position. Let's see which one it is. All right, so here we go. E4. Mudla's in the chat. Poor move. Now the queen will be forced to move again. So bishop e2, good. And now you go for it with knight b5.
It's not a terrible move, I don't think.
It's probably not terrible, but what I don't... All right, just let it be, Kraai.
It's not that bad, Jesse. It comes with a threat.
But it's going to... Okay, the queen needs to move anyway, though.
Okay.
So d4 looks very strong because d4 also comes with a very simple threat, and it's something we need to do as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. a6. So I don't like knight a3. Let's read what Mudla writes. I can retreat my knight to a3. If black goes e5, the bishop on f8 will be pointing at my knight. Don't do the desperado. Knight c3 loses a tempo. Knight a3, yeah, you're going to have to move that knight again.
Well, is the idea, I'm just trying to give him the benefit of doubt, to go c3 dominating the knight in c6, and then to reroute your knight via c2, maybe onto the e3 square.
I think he wants to play knight c4 and then go knight e5. Okay, black plays e6. They should definitely ponder the move b5, and he gives that as one of his moves. The idea is just to dominate this knight, but also, since the queen is blocking the bishop, we kind of need to make another pawn move over here anyway, right? So this would have been, I think, black's most active attempt. By the way, black deserves to die for his crimes. This queen e6 thing, and we're not killing him now. Jameel, why in general, is knight c3 a better move than knight a3?
Because it's more active, because you control the e4 square, because you threaten d5.
I might threaten d5. Also, so knight c3, I control 8 squares. Knight a3, I control 4, and I'm going to owe another move. Now, I do want to say that black playing e6 does allow us to get this knight where it wanted to go. Okay. b5. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Bishop f3 looked pretty strong there, because now we're allowing bishop b7. So
bishop f4 here?
Maybe. So we just got to say black has kind of sort of survived here. Bishop f4, knight d5, knight f7. Holy moly. I figured that my bishop was a goner, so I thought I'd be able to win the rook. Okay, timeout. Bishop g3. I did contemplate this retreat during the game. But yeah, we got to play bishop g3. And you have, I don't know, I would say a small advantage.
Well, hold up. Can we look at knight f7?
Oh, we're going to look at it. I'm just saying bishop g3 is correct. That's all I'm saying. Because that's what he played. He played knight f7.
Okay, I mean, it's interesting.
Queen f4, knight h8. Now let me just do a little chess dogma here. In general, the minor pieces are going to be stronger at the beginning of the game. And you can see it here. Black's bishops are amazing. The knight on d5 is amazing. And the rooks on f1 and a1, they need some help before they're active. Mm-hmm. So the worry for white here is that we're just going to get raged upon here before we fix our business. Now, castles, maybe, looks intuitive. I would also be concerned with bishop d6, check to the miserable king. g3 looks forced. Queen f8. And looks very strong for black. You could imagine maybe here. And this is, I would say, a kind of paradigmatic position where we gotta like the minors. Oh, the minors are amazing, you know, these things. We might even play knight f4 crudely at some point in the near future, right? Okay, so castles. And I think white is correct. That's at least an annoying move now for black to deal with. Queen f6, and now c3, which I don't understand. Why wouldn't we play rook e1? Now it's a little hot still, because we got maybe knight f4. It's definitely
G3.
hot. G3, and he's got rook d4. Party's not over yet.
Hold up. Rook takes... No, it comes with check. Sorry, yeah.
Queen
I was
c1.
thinking... Wait, no. Let's just consider this. What about queen takes rook?
No, buddy, you're giving up your business.
No.
But I don't know. Queen c1. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Maybe h5. I mean, it's hot.
I mean, just to give you an idea, what I was considering is some form of queen takes rook, queen takes. No, it doesn't work. What I wanted to get on the board was rook takes e6, threatening a double check and mate on e8, but it just doesn't work, does it?
Okay, so first of all, my intuition about castles was that we were maybe allowing some play with bishop g4. It might be true that that's all illusory, that black is just going to win the knight and it's all over anyway, as long as he can defend that e6 pawn, the e6 pawn. So I feel like rook e1, knight f4, I wasn't able to prove anything for white. So the c3 thing happens. And now I feel like black is really on top because we got bishop d6, we're threatening something. Queen e1, I don't understand. Knight f4, and we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. Okay, so knight f7. Is it a waste of a move? Of course it is.
I think the idea is g3, no?
Well, he actually gives a good variation here. He says g3, pop, pop, pop.
No, I see that, but I'm talking about knight f7. Oh, it's the same thing anyway.
Okay, but why doesn't this actually work?
Well,
This is actually a fail here. Why doesn't this work?
Queen takes.
Shoot. Wait a sec. Wait. Nose, are you trying to tell me that you can't hear him right now? Say something, Jameel. Yeah, no, he's on here. Yeah, he's on. What are you telling? Yeah.
So they can only hear me.
No, they can hear you, bud. Nose was losing his mind.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. So how does white win this position, Jameel?
So let's look at queen takes e6 check.
Okay.
The problem is if d5, it's just bishop takes that.
Okay, so let's do it better.
If I go d5 now, just bishop takes as well.
Oh, kind of. See, it's only kind of, Jameel, because I get to trade your bishop. If I trade your bishop, the party's over.
Of course. Yeah.
And as Doc Dave points out, bishop takes e6 is also crushing, because then we'll just play d5 next.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we definitely needed to play g3. So let's take a look. Knight h3 wasn't it. Now, the bummer for us, though, is how about I just take this thing, you take, and I take. Is it crispy critters? To me, to me, it looks like crispy critters. Yeah, that looks like crispy critters. Dang. Yep. I want to go back here just for a second. What is going on with Queen E1? What are we doing? What are we doing? For example, at the bare minimum, we need to play like Bishop F3 and G3. If nothing else, to just try to live. But Queen E1, I don't even get it.
Yeah, at least Rook E1, no?
If we're going to do something, then Rook E1, yeah. Okay, so Knight F7, clear loss of tempo, because he's just taking it. F3. Now H5 is in the notes. That looks clean. And let's just stress, this position is completely winning for black because the minors are so strong and the white rooks aren't doing anything yet. However, if he lets us survive for just a little bit, then maybe we can make a comeback. So that's why black needs to play with urgency. By the way, this guy, Jared Hall, is a hero of the dojo. And if you look at his heat map, oh, buddy, that guy has got an amazing heat map. Okay, so H5 was stronger. King B8. We'll call that a comfort move. King H1, still H5. Yeah. So did we have a half a second here where we could have done something else? I mean, we're probably still toast, but I think we need to play G3. We got to try. H5 is still a good move in this position, but let's just imagine he gifts us Knight D5. Let's just imagine it for a second, right? Well, here we would take, and we would have prospects of surviving. I think we're still worse, but now, we're in the game after we win that pawn. So King H1, and now he finds H5. And by the way, here's where both players, I'm going to shift to the time graph. Both players stop thinking here. Okay.
What about queen in H4?
That's a thought. I think G5 would win immediately, but at least it'd be something. And now the bummer is not only did we lose our bishop, but then this bad boy's opened up too. Now, could they have resigned? Yeah, this is resignable. Okay, we're going to stop. We're going to stop. Oh, wait, he blundered somehow. Somehow, I don't know. C takes B4. It's hard to imagine this being wrong, though. Yeah. What happened? How come it took so long? Okay, I don't know. Why did it take so long? What's going on? Jared, you need help on that checkmates, buddy. You need to work on them mates. Jameel needs to work on those mates too, so, you know. Okay. So, mood luck, good graduation. And I'm hoping, it sounds like you guys had a post-mortem afterwards, which is great. This guy, Jared, is a good sparring partner. I saw that you had more than one game with him. I chose this game simply because it was longer, but you guys kind of both treated it like a 30-30. Now, let me stress something. I said this in the last grad show too. The mistakes they're going to give you are time. So he's giving you the mistake of time. And good move. And I want you to be hyper-focused on time yourself. Right? So knight b5, even Jameel thought it was okay. But look, we want to play d4. It comes with a threat. Right? Yeah.
What about castles?
I like castles too, but look, d4, I want him to give me another tempo. Right? I want him to give me more and more tempi. I don't know what he's going to do, but I just want more. I want them all, baby. I want all those tempos. Okay, good. So let's do the next one, and this is Aqua Fresh. Let me get a little sip of tea here. Aqua Fresh says, this one was a grind, but we got
C.
Oh, thank you. See, that's why we keep you around, bud. All right. Aqua Fresh says, this one was a grind, but we got there. Some real life stuff made that I could not spend nearly as much time on chess as I wanted, and I basically took a break for 3 months. In the meantime, I also changed my preferred rating from ChessCom to Lichess. I need some guidance, opinions on one thing that's bothering me. I have a plethora of games that I've started annotating but never completed, thus never published. Looking at my hours, it greatly skews towards games and analysis. But for this cohort, I have only 100% completed annotation and a bunch of incomplete ones. What I am unsure of is whether I should start playing new games before I finished annotating my previous ones. Any help will be great. Then I must extend my gratitude to these higher-rated regulars of the sub-1000 community sessions. Apologies for anyone I missed. Now, before I read this, I just want to say, the following list should be considered heroes of the dojo. And these are people who are really, with their own time, giving help to those rated below them, or maybe even around their rating. Something I can't stress enough is that we should be thankful to these people, but also, if you want to improve, helping people is part of the dojo system. And the idea is simply that if you can explain yourself in clear words to lower rated players, that will help your own game. Might be anti-intuitive at first, might feel like you're giving away your time, but trust the dojo. It's true. Now let me read these names. The famous Cool Master X, Emma Norris, Sleepy, Bleach Bullet, Blind Bandit, Katina Box, Fiddler on the Tank. Your help was immense, and you dragged me across the line. Appreciate it. I'll probably still pop in occasionally. I recommend this session to any sub-1000 player. These people are champs. So by the way, what is he saying? We have a session called the Under 1000 session. There's other sessions as well. It's something we run at the dojo. It's growing. It's very cool. Okay, let's click on Aqua Fresh. So Aqua Fresh, there's the time he missed in the summertime. Now he's back at it, crushing. And we have to remember to try to address his question of the games. I kind of want to see what he's got first. Okay, so normalized at 1088. ChessCom is similar. Tactics, he hasn't really done anything. got burned probably on that first test. We're gonna try to revitalize. We're trying to make it more user friendly. These tests. Jameel too. He had a test and he was just like, "Damn it, F this test. I'm done. Done. I don't want to touch this again. Stupid test." This is interesting. I have no idea what that means. The custom chessum. Okay. So, Aquafresh, this looks pretty good. Started a little late. Great. Okay, this looks like a very decent heat map here. All right, let's go clubs. South African. Okay, cool. Jameel, just stay with me for a sec. Isn't it amazing? We got people everywhere, buddy.
Yeah.
All over the world, man. It's great.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. Games. All right. So, let's go. This is 30-30. This is one of the games. Actually, let me check. I was going to go back and check the date, but this was very recent. And I know I haven't shifted the screens yet because I just want to see if there's useful information on the time graph, which there is. We're going to show that. Boom. So his opponent is committing a crime. He did not commit the crime. We're hoping this is some chump playing online, doesn't think at all. Look at that. Ridiculous. Okay. Let's go back. Game review.
I presume that Aquafresh won this game.
Well, we're going to hope so. Now, it's true that, you did. Sometimes we play these people and they win, but part of the dream of the dojo is that we punish these fools because they're not able to think. They're sitting at their computers and they can't think. So,
well, you can see just before move 20, he started to think, and what probably happened was he found himself in a dire situation and then thought, "Oh,
okay.
Crap! Now I need to think." That's my prediction.
All right, let's see. Good move. All right, mild inaccuracy. Bishop d3 is a little stronger, precisely because e6, bishop b4 gives blacks in play. Let's see how it goes. Good. So now black's kind of sort of in the game. Bishop d2, breaking the pin. Review. This move was frowned upon. My main reasoning was to take back with the bishop to not ruin the pawn structure. It was explained to me that even though pawns are doubles, the structure is still good. And then they recommend knight f3. Great. Great. Oh, I just want to say, this is a really good review. Also, what I would add is, yes, we want to develop the bishop, but it's not really clear yet that it belongs on d2. Right. And notice, development is more important than the doubled pawns. All right, here we go. Bishop d2, great annotations. Knight f6, queen e2, good move. Now, castles, a3. Review, not a good move. If he was going to take the knight, he was going to do it anyway. And if he was going to move the bishop away, he was going to do it anyway. A3, wasted tempo. Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. This is not wrong, but it would be better to take with the pawn. Okay. Now, it would be weird if you took it with the pawn, though, because you've just spent, the last 10 years of your life investing in not having double pawns, right? Okay. Black needs to make a move. Jameel, what do you think he should play? What do you think black should play?
Oh, knight c6. I wouldn't play. I'd be a bit reluctant to go d5 here because you're locking in your bishop up to something like e5.
I definitely think he should play d5. Excuse me, d5.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's go e5. Knight f3.
Right, so now you see that he's in there for good.
Yeah, but you're going knight d2 next potentially, or you could have just gone f3 even.
Well, then I would take your bishop. Actually, f3 won't work because I have queen h4 even.
Yeah. So knight f3.
No, this is fine for black. The bishop is the helicopter parent living through the dreams of his child. Okay, d6. Good move. Castles. It's hard for me to call this a mistake. Let's see what you write. This was the opportune moment to castle queenside and press the attack. I think it's got to be okay.
No. I see what he's saying. Castling queenside is, I can see why it's attractive.
Yeah.
The risk is he plays something like c5 and opens up the c file, and then you're you might also end up being under attack.
I'm fine with what he did. He's got center control. He's got the 2 bishops. He's doing great. There's no need to go crazy. All right, black goes crazy. Now, let's just say again, what's the problem? He's not developing his stuff, right? And not only that, but he's hanging something. And it's usual when they don't develop their stuff that they hang something. And so, correctamundo, we take the pawn. It should also be said that it's a great thing that, your bishops, especially now the dark square bishop, has turned into a beast. So it's not just that you won a pawn, but if we just contrast it for a second to back here, I don't know what we're going to do with the guy. I don't know. Maybe I play bishop d2 or something. I don't know. But after he plays e5, I'm just like, oh, I won a pawn and I'm scorched. I got a scorched earth thing going on. All right, knight d7. And now you say knight d7, this is not the way. Well, so I agree that f4 and knight f7 look pretty cool. I agree. However, your pieces, it's pretty natural to be taking on d7. Yeah. Pretty natural. I agree that f4 is a very nice looking move, but you know what? Let me just go a move further here. Now you play e5.
You're not threatening to take. You're not threatening to take with e5.
Right. And Jameel, why else is Jesse going to be a little bit unhappy with e5?
Because it's blocking that beautiful bishop.
Good. And what else is it doing?
What else is it doing? Is it not a developing move? It's rather what it's not doing.
Well, okay, you're absolutely right. Broke the bishop's communication. What else did it do? It opened this one.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I think a good move here. It's a little tactical, but it makes sense to me. It's just to play rook here. That way, we're defending this tactically, and we're doing great. We're doing great. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back. e5, queen g4. Looks a little too frisky. f3, good move. Now, one thing we want to say about f3 is black's about to blunder. Why did he blunder? Because he's not using any time on his clock. But the other thing we should say is, after we've played e5, we're kind of interested, or not kind of, we're definitely interested in playing f3 anyway, because we want to block this bishop. Okay, black blunders, and we are definitely completely winning here after rook takes f3, completely. Though we should definitely play queen takes, and it's not just that you want to, well, we want to trade queens, yes, and also, like, what a crispy whole situation we got going on here. Okay, so I want to encourage you to think of this as completely winning. And what I want to say about that is, like I said in the other, one of the last things I said about this kind of position was I said, your path to getting to 1,000 plus, which you are now at, is going to be taking a piece, consolidating, trading it off, and winning. So when you get up a piece for absolutely nothing, you should say to yourself, right, I'm winning. I just have to make sure I stop all the counterplay. Okay, c5, that doesn't look correctamundo. h3. Okay, a queen f2 also makes a lot of sense with this some kind of f7 thing happening. Okay. There's no respect. Bishop c4. And now you played e6. Queen f2 looks great. Okay, but should that be winning? Yeah. That's some good bishops right there, buddy. Queen e4. This was a stupid move. I was baiting knight e4, proper hope chess. Okay, right. So here's what we're saying. You're making life too complicated for yourself, right? So you missed rook takes f6. Okay, but I want to stress something. Even if you don't need to find rook f6 in this position, you really don't. You could play the most prosaic move, queen c4, and you're completely winning, right? Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6 first and then queen c4, completely winning. Now, I still think you got to be winning after queen e4. And now you did it, buddy. Nice. Nice. h6, bang. That's what happens when we got the bishops. So that's very nice. Okay, and one of the things I want to just stress, we'll go back to finish this with the time graph. You thought, your opponent didn't, and you won. So well done. All right, let's go back. And I think we have, what do we got here? We got one more, and that's Lakrios. And Lakrios says, 6th graduation at the dojo. I'm pumped to finally make it into the 1,000 plus group and for being one step closer to opening work not being illegal anymore. I've been performing well in my rapid games, but my classical games have been lackluster. I struggle greatly in the middle game and endgame, especially in longer games where the opponent is less likely to blunder away their pieces. Do you see what I gendered there? I've still got a long way to go before internalizing the principles of play shown in the first book of Morphy. I've read the descriptive parts of the book, and I found many of them eye-opening to say the least. Learn Chess the Right Way has also been an amazing read. Getting to think more about the opponent's threats was definitely something I needed. I've only gotten halfway through both books, so I think I'll finish them before moving on to the material for the next cohort. Beautiful. Okay, let's give Lakrios a click here. Oh, my friends, look at that delicious heat map. Look at that thing. The other innovation, actually, I've pleaded for with our famous dev team is I want it, a lot of times you're on a website, there'll be a little thing to pop it out. So I want there to be a little pop-out button right there, and I just want to click it. Bang! And I want it to, go basically almost the full board, full screen, so I can really enjoy the colors. So
what happens if you have, if you've done several things in one day? What color does it show? What you've done most of?
Good question. I don't think that's actually resolved, to tell you the truth. But in general, people are doing one thing a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a totally fair question. In my mind, when I helped design this thing, it was going to be like proportion. So if there was some tactics and a game played, it would be green and yellow. And
that could get a bit much, though, if you're doing several things every day.
Uh-huh.
Unless you zoomed in.
Yeah, or if I had a pop-out, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so congratulations, Lakrios. He's been with us for a while here, and look at this, just graduating like a maniac. And I will say, breaking out of 1,000, that's definitely an accomplishment. All right, he has done some tests, did well with the checkmate tests, so that looks good. His tactics rating suggests that he's going to be ready to graduate again soon. Clubs. This is the Italian, buddy. This is the Italian. All right. Then we're going to go activity. I just want to do one cool thing. We're going to look at this calendar. Look at that calendar, bud. How about that? That's looking pretty cool. This way I can really get a sense. He's doing some blunder games. Now that he's out of the 1,000, he's not allowed to do blunder games anymore. And so I want this to show as tactics, even though it's non-dojo. When I wanted to show it here as tactics. Okay, so games. And then we got Lacrios. You know what I just realized, Jameel? We didn't answer the question that I believe came from Aquafresh. Okay, but first, before that, I'm just going to dwell on this. It's another one of these, buddy. Our guy thought, and the other guy didn't. Goodbye, Lucy. All right, hopefully we won this one. But let me try to address the question. First, the question was, if I've got a bunch of games that I've only half annotated, should I, now that I've graduated, go back to those games or start anew? And my intuition, of course you can go back to those, but my intuition would be to say, play a longer game. You are now at a higher level, my friend. Play a longer game and then annotate it well. It'll be fresh for you too. Okay, another thing I just want to push for a second is if we go tournaments, this round robin thing is amazing. Look at this thing. You go, actually it would be good to check in for me. So if we go cross table, let's go to the 1,000 one because that's who we're talking about today.
Scene buddy.
Scene buddy. Scene buddy. So this is what the cross table looks, just as an example, for the 1,000 cohort. My strong suspicion is there's now a waiting list. So the second there's 9 people, then a tournament starts. It lasts 3 months long. I think you could be in more than one tournament if you wanted to, right? So these, you would have classical games against people in the dojo. It's not guaranteed you get a postmortem with them, but it's likely, right? For example, we got the famous Jared Hall here. That guy's working. YOLO Chess, all these, the people who are making progress here are in these round robins. So very competitive. And I just want to stress it because if you don't have the ability to play a tournament, this is the way to go. And if you want to get super fancy, I don't have this yet myself because I don't really like playing online games. But if you want to get super fancy, you can get that Chestnut Evo board, And so you would set your board up, and then I think it even moves the pieces for you, Baus. We did, DM Hokie did a review of that. You can see on our YouTube page. All right, back to the front. Let's go back. So I got to go back, and here we go. So our guy is black. Hopefully he won. It's not a guarantee that we win. F4, a little bit weird. D5. And white makes a horrendous move immediately with E takes. Jameel, why is this move especially bad? E takes D5.
You want to be developing?
Well, yeah.
He's now given his knight the C6 square.
Anything else?
I mean, is he going to get a...
Okay, let me go back a second.
Yeah, go on.
So the dream of Federico is always, first of all, let's just say Federico is always a controversial move.
Oh, yeah. So at some point he wants to open up the F file, and it's a lot more difficult to do if you trade CE pawn off.
Right, so first let's get into why it's controversial. You're blocking your bishop. It's not a developing move. It doesn't help your pieces get out. And the only way it would help your pieces get out is if when you castle, the rook has some kind of dream along this line. But your pawn duo loses all of its dynamism now when you take. Everything, it's all gone. So white needs to either play E5 or D3. And, as every Caro player knows, now this knight's beautiful. Also, like he said, we got another center pawn. Oh, we're doing great. The F4 pawn now, it just makes no sense at all. Okay. I would have preferred knight f6, but it's okay. d4, a little funky. e6, fine. Check, poor. Good move. Fine. Weird. Okay. You just calmly play knight f6. Great. Just simple development. Takes, poor. Knight take, ooh, e takes. Now, this one I'm not thrilled with. I'm sure your position is still better, but here we definitely want to talk about two different moves that you have. Knight takes d5 and queen takes b5. Right? Both of those moves look very attractive. The simple, I mean, knight takes d5 is just very simple. Now he's going to owe you another tempo. Our knight is genius. You know, that whole business.
So why not take the bishop?
You could also take the bishop, bud. I also like that one. You are going to lose a tempo now with knight c3.
Yeah, I get that.
All right, so knight c3. I'm worried about rook e1 check. Bishop b4, check. And now you go knight e4. Protecting against the check, but leaving the pawn hanging. Now, let's just stress that this is all happening because we left our e-file open, right? And you have a good variation here with bishop e4, bam, knight d5. So already it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation that white doesn't deserve. He doesn't deserve this position here. He truly deserves death, but we've kind of mucked it up a little bit here. Maybe we should even play king f8. As sad as it is. In fact, I would still rather be black after king f8, but of course I don't want to play king f8. Okay, so let's keep going. Knight d5, a3. And now you blunder your bishop. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now the dojo's under real threat because we're playing this chump and now we're down a piece. Okay, queen b6. Knight e5 is a weird move because, at least it gives you this pawn. You go here. Uh-oh, and now we're just letting him eat us. Oh, no. We didn't even, I wanted to yell welcome to the dojo.
Yeah.
Oh,
no! No. Oh.
So what we could say here, bud.
D1's main too.
Well, he moved it in 2 seconds.
Yeah. How much time do you have left?
Okay, let's just pause for a second here. So, dude played queen takes a f5, blunder. White's up a piece. Now, by the way, if we were dealing with white here, I would be saying the same thing I've said in other shows, which is, hey, buddy, you're up a piece. Just consolidate. He then allows queen d4, and now white is lost.
It's mate no matter what.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just show chats. Rook, knight f2, king g1, knight h3, queen sack on g1, and then the smothered mate.
Jameel was very happy the first time. I think every chess player is happy the first time they see that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, no! Okay, we still have some chances. Now, rook f8 was played. Wait a second. This is also kind of weird. Why didn't he play knight f7 and snippos? Okay, why? I can tell you why, because he's not thinking. Okay, king h2.
Okay. Wait. Why not? Oh, yeah, of course. Never mind.
Oh, no. That was a sad day for the dojo right there. Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, he had the opportunity for a smothered mate, and then black also had the opportunity.
Yep.
That was rough, buddy.
That was rough. Well, welcome to the dojo. It's rough. So, I think one of the things that might have been happening there, okay, and I think everyone has suffered this in their career, is that when your opponent is moving super fast, it can be very disconcerting, and it can be difficult for you to move to really slow it down. You know, at scholastic tournaments, you'll get kids who are like, move. They'll be like, move. You're like, what? I'm thinking. They'll be like, move, because they're freaking out. Because they're not able to think about it. And then even online, you get people too. They play some game like this, and in the chat, they'll be like, move, buddy. Why are you taking so long? Okay. All right, I want to do one more thing before we call it. It'll just be a break because we're going to be back on at 2. But I'm going to do one more thing, Jameel, and that is we got a big old game review queue here going on. I know the scene. Time out. Give me a break. We're going to go mouse slips game here. So this is mouse slip against the famous W.S. Lish. And first thing we're going to look at is the time graph. We're going to say, looks good. Okay. All right. So, by the way, this is not part of the grad show anymore. And I just want to say that anybody can submit their game for review. And that is what we are doing right now. So, this is from Mouselip, and Mouselip says, I'm getting into the habit of asking for Sensei review. I can't afford too many more of these, but I need some guidance on attacking better and coming up with winning strategies.
Oh, do you charge people for this?
It's like a mild fee. Yeah. You can do you can ask for a deep dive or just a quick review.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So far, either people don't know about it or, whatever. Okay. So, good move. Good move. Now I need to remember the dojo aggressive repertoire. In this move order, I don't need to worry about the Frankenstein Dracula. Halloween is over. Okay. What do? Waste of time. F4, definitely the most principled move.
Mm-hmm.
And now black thinks for 3 minutes and goes for D5. Holy moly. Okay.
Can you explain to me why that's not just a pawn? I mean, is the idea that he's going to do something with queen h4? Say knight takes?
So let's just say, first of all, that black has lost the tempo with h6 and is in a little bit of trouble. Okay? Because if we're allowed to just do our normal stuff, we're going to be doing great. Okay? So d5 is not dumb from the perspective that he needs to shed something to not die an immediate death.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's read what he says about knight d5. Right, this did not appeal to me. It is okay, but I prefer to keep the pieces on the board. Okay. Now, let me just say that black has created definitely a mess here. But in general, I would like to play knight d5 for the simple reason that I want to keep the scope of my bishop open. Your move might be fine, so we're going to give your move a try here. E d5, knight g4. Now, this is one of the critical questions in the aggressive repertoire. Does this knight g4 work? What's going on? Okay, so you talk here.
Does this just not unnecessarily complicate matters?
What's that?
Is this not unnecessarily complicated? Or,
well, let's put it simply. If he doesn't play knight g4, why did he play d5? No one knows.
No, I'm talking about e takes d5. Could you not have just gone knight takes and claimed to be a clean pawn up?
Let me just say, whenever he could have still played knight g4. It could still get really complicated. Okay? Still get, no. So it still can be really complicated. And now we need to do some calculation. This knight f3 move I don't know if it works yet, but it is the cojones move. For sure, it's the cojones move. Now, knight e4. That would be the first thing I would want to consider. And it's a simple enough move. We're stopping knight f2.
And threatening the bishop.
There is a question, though. And that would be snip, snop, check, here, and here. And the question is, how do we feel about this position? Is it hectic? Oh, it's definitely hectic. It's definitely hectic.
You got to go rook f1.
I can also play, I might be able to play king f1. I don't know yet. On king f1, I have to calculate f5.
Yeah, they have to worry. Yeah, exactly.
But on rook f1, I also have to calculate f5.
I see, because of the.
Now, by the way, in my course, I look at a lot of these d5 ideas, and I think for Jameel, it was just like a dumb move, but I knew right away that even though h6 looked like a free tempo, I knew it was going to be complicated. Okay. h6 also has the advantage that when I do play knight f3 like you do in the game, there's no knight g5. And here we see the bummer, too, of the pawn being on d5, because now we have no play against f7. So if we go back, let's just imagine knight g4 here for just a second. Now, first of all, knight h3 might be playable. We have to worry about queen h4. But it looks pretty reasonable.
Knight h3, queen h4.
King f1.
King f1, yeah.
It's still complicated. It's still complicated. Okay. So, but definitely it looks stronger. Okay, so e d5, knight g4, and knight f3. The question now becomes, though, are we just simply lost? Okay. On d4, which is my first intuition, you write, I considered and rejected this move. It would not waste time because it puts the question to his bishop, but bringing my knight forward appealed to me more. Okay, so let's talk business here. This is a fun position. We are down a rook, but we have hopes of simply winning the knight, and we are up a pawn. d4 appeals to me more because I don't know what he's going to do, and if I get this big old pawn center, well, that might be something to write home about, right? Also, maybe I'll take this way, depending on how he goes. All right, so I like d4, bishop b6, knight e5. Now that I have a lot of pieces aimed toward his king, but I need to be concerned with my own king. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Now, by the way, if I was going to take a pawn, it would be fe. Right? I would rather play fe.
I just if I could
Yeah.
speculate what his psychology is with this.
Okay.
I think what he's looking for is some discovery from the king. But obviously black can just castle here, no?
First of all, this knight e5 might work. It might be okay. It's not the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And he didn't think about it.
I mean, knight e5 is the first thing that comes to my mind.
So let's say a couple things. The guy, black, has a lot of moves here. But castles is definitely the human one. Okay, so let's just go ahead and put that on the board. Castles.
Okay.
And now queen h5 here is played without comment. But to me, the question is, can we just play bishop d2 or bishop e3 and then castle next? That would be my little questione. because we must. Okay, so Mouselip asked a very important question. He said, "I need help with attacking." So one thing we need to see with attacking is we need to get everybody involved, right? And this is a very hectic position, and we're not going to win the game unless these guys do something. So to me, it's either bishop d2 or bishop e3 followed by castles. Is it an incredibly complicated position? Yes, it is. But we should say to ourselves, hey, we are up 2 pawns. We're hopeful that f6 or f5 doesn't crush us. And if we get the knight back, we're just doing fine. We're just doing fine. And he owes us some time fixing his business. So I'm going to say bishop e3 looks correctamundo to me. Is it complicated? Yeah. You know, we could even see takes, check, g3, takes, castles. With an incredibly complicated position. But I'm hopeful. I'm not sure, but I'm hopeful that his knight doesn't get out. Maybe f5's going to get us here. I don't know. Oh, God, it's hot. Yeah. So we could also analyze bishop d2. This one also makes me nervous because I'm worried about some kind of f5 with the knight coming out. Now, by the way, this is one of the reasons why I wanted d4, because I just wanted that bishop spanked out of my square.
Though, are we not a little bit happy if he moves the f pawn after castles, because you can play d6, opening up your bishop with tempo?
All I know, my good friend, all I know is that it's complicated. d6, king h7. I don't know. We might have fanciness
d7?
here. It'll just take you.
Yeah, of course. Oh, here's an interesting move. Knight g5.
Pawn takes.
Queen f3.
Knight takes g3. This is it's interesting. No, it's definitely interesting. Like if we imagine, it's still hot, right? Look at this one: g6, knight f7, Matos and the Tatos.
There you go.
I don't know if it's there you go, Jameel. It's going to be a little bit more complicated than that.
I was right. I said it. You didn't.
Okay, let me just say, so when we talk about attacking, a couple things I want Mouselip to understand. You need all your pieces in. That's going to be the first thing. So that's why it's that in the game, I get it. It would be very hard to determine whether correctamundo would be bishop d2 or bishop e3. Very difficult because it's going to be really complicated. But those are the moves we should say, oh, that's what's got to be done. What's got to be done. Queen h5, you're just not getting your bros in. They're just not coming in. And that knight, I was worried eventually it's going to come out. Okay, let's see the game. Okay, wait, so let me just finish that thought. And then in the post-mortem, your post-mortem, where you're talking about it with your annotating him, then you want to go deep into analyzing moves like bishop d2 and bishop e3, because it'll teach you how to attack. And we saw in that line, that was not as forced as Jameel made it sound, by the way. But that would be practice of like, oh, right, I get a sense of how this aggressive repertoire is played, right? And sometimes in the aggressive repertoire, by the way, you are technically lost. You know, something happens and you're technically lost, like maybe you're technically lost here, but there's clearly a lot of potential for you to win this game. Okay, so queen h5, knight d7. Okay. He goes for it, d6. So this is called attacking without having all of your stuff. Knight takes. This is interesting. Pawn takes. And now bishop e6. This might be a good move. So what's fascinating is I think on pawn takes, look at this one. I could go knight g6, takes, check, here, here, here. And
There's no rook. No.
that looks fun, right? Okay. And then also on knight f6, king h8, we're going to assume that this move is winning.
Yeah.
So even here, it's very dangerous for black. And this bishop e6 move looks pretty good. Now, the problem with bishop takes is which is what you did, is that you're going to open up this rook and also the lateral defense to the king. Now, maybe we don't have anything better, but let's just check for a second.
Hold up.
Let's look at knight f6.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, so D.
And this might be a hell of a drug because check it out. On this move, I got this bad boy, and there's no f6 because no lo puedo.
Yeah, I was thinking of starting with D takes C7, but I guess it's the same thing.
So let's consider this. Knight f6. King h8, I'm going to say is toast to bishop h6. Takes, takes. This is the threat. That's kind of amazing. And let me say, Mouseslip, you don't deserve this position. You don't deserve this position, but I think you had it. So hold on. We got to say something. First of all, I said queen h5 was wrong, and I still believe it's wrong. However, my good friends, we're seeing that this move definitely still had some juice to it. Amazing. Okay, so let's, knight d7, by the way, totally, let's call it normal or whatever you want to call it, right? So, boom. Makes sense that he wants to take this. But notice, now that we're talking about the dream of Federico, you know, the dream of Federico is there. Bishop e6. All right, can we refute this? I'm going to say that's forced. And then I don't have any advice for the guy. f5, bishop g5. fe, bishop g5. Dang! That's a hell of a drug, bug. We might have a good move here. Bishop d4. Good move. So that kind of came from Doc Dave. It shouldn't surprise us that he has something here.
D takes C7.
Okay, first thing I want to say is that I think I have a draw after bishop takes e6 because I'm threatening queen g6. So that's already my minor little miracle. And given the position that we had before, I think I'm a little happy. I'll be a little happy that I got a draw. But bishop d4 is a very nice find. And I don't see, if we had our rook in, we'd be able to do something. But now this is, I think, too much. Yeah, so bishop e6 is a draw. Also, any kind of takes, we'll just go check and then draw it out. No says rook e8, but that's no bueno because I got queen g6. Or maybe he means instead of bishop d4. Maybe. Okay, that's maybe. But I still don't get it because maybe I do get it though. Maybe Nose has got something, buddy. Okay, no, this is fun. Look what Nose has got. He's saying here, and then we say check for the miserable king. Uh-oh. That didn't go well. That didn't go well at all. Nice move, Nose.
So let's just look at it. If
we've looked at it. It's over, bud.
If king f1,
bishop e2. Oh, hell of a drug.
back. Okay, so king f1, no. What about king d2?
Bishop e3.
King c.
Oh, you're losing your queen, dude.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, yeah.
So rook e8, exclam. Okay, so let's go back a second. And what we're going to say is this, it didn't feel right to me. And for a second, I thought we had some magic. But both is bishop d4 and then the more amazing rook e8. That rook e8's a hell of a move. Look at that, dude. Yeah, that's a hell of a move. I don't know what to do. Okay, so, but definitely it's a better try than this because now his rook gets activated. Bishop h6, here he goes. Now, does bishop f2 make sense to me? Let's go, let's try it. So bishop f2, we walk it out. And now that's probably crispy critters. Okay, let's just give it a second though here. Boom, boom, boom. Now, let's just say maybe black had better, okay? Because now it's not over. It's simply not over here. Is it? No, it's not over. Holy moly.
No, he'll have... I mean, look at that. He's got all the pawns in the world.
No, it's not over. Okay, very fun. Let's keep going. C takes, E takes. By the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think if we go back, that black had probably something better than this, okay? But let's focus on this because, Mouslip was presented with this, and then we're just going to see how he dealt with it. Now, this does not look right to me. Knight f2. We had earlier a position... I'm very bad remembering names, but it was knight f7 was played in a similar way, just kind of giving it. And I like bishop f2 because we want to keep our knight. Our knight's amazing. It holds the d6 pawn. Is knight takes f2 probably also playable? I'm sure it is, actually. Anyways, they both look good to me. And now, Jameel, don't we rather want to be white here?
White's up point in material.
Yeah.
Which is worth noting.
Well,
right?
It's more than that. We got like a better king. We got this big fatty pawn. Potential passer on the king side as well. The rooks don't really have entry squares.
Mm-hmm.
Good move. I don't know if I understand that one. Good move. Simple and strong. Is he threatening anything? I don't see it. King e3 can't be wrong. Now, maybe. I didn't understand that rook, by the way. I don't know what he was doing. So let's say here we're in a little bit of not super time pressure, but you can see we're getting there.
So, okay, interesting move exactly. I was just about to go g4.
Good, g4, that's right. So now the rook, I think, is toast. Right, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, when he played this, that should be a little suspicious. It's like, what are you doing, buddy? what is it that you're doing? Nobody knows. So, in fact, already right here, I think we closed the trap immediately. Now, black could probably play b5, but of course that allows us to play c5. The rook gets out, but, it's a huge concession to let us... In fact, you could probably be really cruel. No, don't play rook c1 because then bc. But in any case, you see what I'm saying. g4 here is also very strong.
Hold up. What about... here's an interesting move. What about d7?
Oh, I see. On b5.
So,
yeah, good.
But then you can't... but you don't actually have the port because of the pin.
Yeah. So... But it's all mute because on b5, it's just such a positional concession to give me this that we can stop talking about it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so king e3, king f8. We missed g4. By the way, one of the things I have noticed in these game reviews is that people tend to annotate less in the end game. And this is the moment. So the other thing I'll say is when you play crazy chess, like the aggressive repertoire, you will often get unbalanced endgames that look like this, right? And so G4 is going to be a move that it's kind of problem, like a study, like a problem study. And so that's the kind of thing we want to be looking for. Here we're just helping his rook fix itself. King E8. A4. This is the right spirit of the thing. King D7. It is a big deal that black was able to fix his king. Now we need a good move. Let's see what you did. I like it. I like it. Because now you're keeping the position closed and you're about to play A5. Beautiful. A beautiful move. I want to stress that was great. That B5, A5, absolutely great. Boom, boom. Check to the miserable king. Simple chess. And he just gave up. That was a nice finish. Okay, so that was a great game, Mouselip. And maybe we should go back just for a second and think about it from black's point of view. You write on bishop f2, the maneuvered exchange queen surprised me. I was blind to it. I need to have more consideration about my opponent's resources. The good news for us is it was terrible. It didn't do anything. All right, let's take a moment here. So, first question, is dude threatening? Is he threatening us? Okay, black has a lot of candidate moves here. He's got rook f5, queen e8. Queen e8 is actually there on the in the annotations. And what's
Rook f5, do you have to worry about knight?
Well, okay, let's say something else.
G5 at all?
Let's just say something obvious here, that that if black feels they're actually toast, they can take the draw. We believe that black should have more than a draw, but let's keep looking here. So rook f5.
Let's say knight g5.
I don't think knight g5 is it, because I'm just going to trade it, buddy.
Take with the bishop.
Oh yeah, then queen e8, I guess. Or f8 maybe.
Can black still can white still castle?
You can, but my knight's coming out. You can castle, but my knight's coming out now. I'm up a piece, as they say. Now, I don't know about rook f5. I would say the challenging move would be queen g4, queen f8. If knight f6, I'm just playing rook f6. Castles. But then I have knight f2, so I'm fine. Now, it's still possible. Maybe those pawns are going to run. They're going to have a little fun with a run. I don't know. It looks lost. It looks lost. Okay, Mouselip, that was great. Oh, you guys, I got to get out of here. The boys are going to be yelling at me. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes to do Dojo Talks. This will be part 2. Today we are going to be talking about the second. We have the World Championships, the best tier list World Championships, 3 parts. And today we're talking post-World War II until the FIDE split when Kasparov split it.